Alright, so my dust collection system has been finished for about 5 weeks now, 4 or 5 weeks. And I've been trying to upload a video and nothing but failed attempts. So we're going to make this snappy. This is part 2 of the finished dust collection system. We got all the little tweaks worked out. So here we go. So there's the dust collector. I've got two flex pipes coming down with 2 blast gates. They both go into the dust collector right there. I bought myself a remote control switch. Pretty much you plug that box into the wall and plug the dust collector into that, and you can turn the dust collector on remotely from anywhere in the shop. It's a must-have. This is actually a 2-horse motor, but it says right there that it's only rated for 1.5 horses. But it will work. So if you got one of these, you need one, get it, you'll be fine. We think that also says 20 amps maximum, but me and my uncle seem to think that this pulls 20 amps on maximum peak load. So anyway, so we go up. Over the first drop is a miter saw over here. Took me a while to get this hooked up, but it ended up, I went to Tractor Supply and I bought a PVC fitting to go right here. It had some threads on it, but I ground them off, spray painted it black, and I had to put a little shim in right here in order to move it over far enough to where it would clear this stop when the saw raises up. But anyway, hooked that up. That hose there alone probably catches, I'd say, 70% of the dust. There's some more that scatters behind it, but it's almost impossible to catch it all. But I come down, I got 1 blast gate. It originally stopped right here, but I put this T on it to bring out to this. And then I've got another blast gate that goes under the table into that table sweep, I guess. When the bench gets full of dust, I'll just open this blast gate and sweep the dust into it. Only thing I know to do. I tried a couple of different things and nothing really worked. I also affixed a spring to this hose, so when the saw turns, the hose kind of stays kind of stationary. So anyway, the next drop is my drum sander here. It's pretty simple. It's just a blast gate and some flex, and it works. I had the shop vac hooked up to it, that shop vac, and this sucks a whole lot better than the shop vac. So this is definitely a win-win for the drum sander. So after the drum sander, the next stop is the planer and the joiner. It tees off, split to the planer. I think I showed you the box that I built in the last video. That works great. It was definitely a win-win. So then we come down to the joiner, and I had to do a little fabricating here. I pretty much just took a piece of plywood, cut a hole in it, screwed that attachment boot to it, and then hooked up the flex. Pretty simple. Works good. Alright, then the next drop will be the table saw drop. It goes down to just under the saw. I had to build a box because this particular type of saw doesn't have a dust collection hookup. So I just basically got on here and built a box, just like that. Drilled a hole in it, attached another one of those boots to it, and hooked the flex up, and it works great. Works awesome. There's still a little bit of dust that blows out the back of it because the back of the saw is open. You can't really see it for the runoff table, but you know, you can't catch it all, but that catches the biggest part of it, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. And so it works good. The next drop and the final drop is my radial arm saw. Pretty simple also, just blast gate, flex, and I built this little chute, and most of your sawdust runs right down in this groove, and that back there just sucks it up. And I rigged this up out of a couple pieces of 1 1/4" 90s, or elbows, whatever you want to call them. This all came with this original boot that's set up here, and most of the dust comes out behind the blade, but some of it come out through this boot. So I just bought a couple 1 1/4" 90s, super glued them together, and turned them on that angle, and what dust does comes out of there, it just blows right back down into the sucker. So it works pretty good. Alright, lastly I'll show you the remote control. This is the remote for the dust collector. Must have if you got one. Well worth it. So that's pretty much it. Dust collection system's all hooked up. I got a little something to build. I got to build a sewing machine table. Rebuild this one. This is an old one. And there's a sewing machine that pops up under there and folds down under the table. So that's pretty much it. The whole dust collector is up and ready to go. I'm sure I'll have to do a little fine tuning from here and there to get everything situated like I need it. Other than that, everything's good to go. So I'll see you next project.